where did I come from, and why in the world, how did I ever come to develop a new family of probability distributions, particularly as a non-university professor? I'm a practitioner. Everything I've done here is driven by 30 years of practical experience before I started even fiddling around with this stuff. And it was out of frustration, really. But in the early days when I was working on my PhD, I remember a statement from my thesis advisor, Ron Howard. He just made a quip one day: it's not easy to invent a new probability distribution. I inferred from that maybe he had tried to do so. It never occurred to me, but um, it just struck me as, I wonder why it's not easy. Well, boy, now I know. Um, in my first 25 years of professional practice, we rarely use conditional distributions. We use three branch distributions: 10, 50, 90, over a market share, or over a size of a new market, or over whatever the variable may be. How long would it take to repair a piece of machinery, or whatever it may be? We had to use these three branch distributions because one of my, if you have a 10, 50, 90, for example, over a market share, somebody says there's a 10% chance that our future market share will be less than 20%. There's a 50-50 chance it'll be less than 30%. There's a 90% chance it'll be less than 60%. You'd love to represent that with a beta distribution, because a beta distribution is bounded between 0 and 100%. You just can't do it. It's a total mess. Those are 3 points. You want the beta distribution to go through all 3 of those points, but it can't, because the beta distribution only has 2 parameters. Furthermore, it takes a nonlinear optimization. Finally, those of us that don't have time to do a lot of distribution fitting because we're solving practical problems for clients, we end up just throwing them all out and saying we can't do it, and we'll use 3 branch trees because those are easier. And so I did that for 25 years. Another 15 years, I worked with decision analysis with simulation, and continuous distributions are computationally tractable in a few cases, but they're not that easy. And you got to go through all these cases of picking the right one, and that doesn't quite fit, and then what do you do? And so in 2009, this is when I first started working on this, we had a philosophy at Keelin Reed's Partners, my consulting firm, of use every client project not only to do a terrific job for the client, but to try to improve the state of the art as well. And in one of our state of the art reviews, we said, why couldn't we at least possibly invent continuous probability distributions that meet modern needs? Maybe we could. And we started with some whiteboard sketches, and I suppose, and this was with Brad Powley at the time, and I suppose at that time, maybe there was 1 in 10,000 chance of success in this. I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever, tried to write down some equations on a whiteboard and ended up with something lasting and powerful that you'd use again and again and again. Most of the time it didn't work. This time it just happened to, and it was an accident of research and development, I suppose.